Hello, my bookish friends, and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk motivation. In order to connect with the actions of a character, we need to understand their motivation. This is even more important when dealing with real, live people. But this thing we've built on social media, the I am right and you are wrong of how we interact with people, especially when we're safely ensconced behind our keyboards, has been more and more on my mind. I am so tired of the fighting. I'm tired of witnessing the fighting. It's a little bit painful to scroll through social media and see that someone that I love and respect has posted something that mocks or degrades a decision or opinion or belief that is a part of me. I don't mind if people disagree with me. I want people to have their own opinions. I want people to be awake and informed and be able to form their own opinions about lots of different subjects. Of course, you won't make all the same decisions that I do. That's because we've lived different lives. And I'm doing my best to respect and understand the lives that other people have lived. But what about when we're confused or even baffled by the decisions that other people are making, and yet there's no opportunity to ask them to clarify their decision? How can we reconcile someone that we know holding a completely opposite opinion from ours when everything that we have experienced and seen and read tells us that that decision is wrong? Are they just idiots? Maybe they're just stubborn and mean and blind and wrong. Maybe. Or maybe they have reasons. In writing, whenever your character does something, it needs to be done with intent. We need to know why that character is pursuing that course of action. Everything that we know about Sally leads us to believe that she's not going to quietly and willingly give up the enchanted book. Sally's been protecting that book for more than half of the story, and she's suddenly just going to give it up without a fight? No, we need motive. But if we understand that Mr. Villain is going to kill Sally's younger brother if she doesn't give up the book, suddenly we understand. We may not agree with it. We may think that one person's sacrifice is a small price to pay for the fate of an entire nation, but not to her. To her, his life is more important. Unfortunately, we can't read the inner dialogue of those around us, and so we're left to be confounded about why that person would make that decision. Why would they support that cause? Why would they be on the anti-side of this issue and the pro-side of that issue? And may I suggest that the answer to all of those questions is reasons. She's anti-gun because she experienced a mass shooting. He's pro-life because he and his wife cannot have a baby. She chose not to vaccinate because a vaccine paralyzed her nephew. But at the same time, he's pro-gun because an intruder almost killed his mother. She's pro-choice because if she had kept that baby, it would have died and it probably would have killed her too. He chose to vaccinate because one of his family members suffered through that disease. They have their reasons. And we can disagree with them all we want, but we can't pretend that their life experience and motivation is invalid simply because it contradicts what we've decided for ourselves. Now, of course, there will be outliers. People with genuine ill intent. People who just want to argue. People who just want to hate. But even those people got that way somehow. Did they choose it? Some of them might have. Or they were taught it, and they just don't know how to break down what they've spent years learning. Unlearning cultural norms and societal rules is hard. This, by the way, is what makes good villains. Villains are much more powerful characters when their motivations make sense. Sure, you could write a villain who's a terrible person because he wants to be a terrible person. Okay. That's a nice cardboard cutout, but readers want all characters to be three-dimensional. And maybe that's a good way to think of people as well. In this world where we spend so much time staring at a screen, viewing only two-dimensional or even sometimes one-dimensional representations of people, it's hard to remember that there's a person behind the screen. We are all made up of multiple dimensions, countless layers, myriad experiences, failures, pains, and triumphs. We're made up of the bullies that whispered in our ears, the parents that cheered us on, the loves that broke our hearts, and the hard choices foisted upon us. It's all there in a tangled mess that very few people are going to even look at, much less comprehend. And we need to work to remember that a little better. It's easy to throw a pithy quote on a catchy background and throw it up on social media so that we can have our mic drop moment. It might even be satisfying. But if any of us are going to have any hope of getting along with more than just a small subset of people, we're going to have to do the hard work of really understanding each other. So I hope that we can all move forward with a little bit of grace, that we can offer mercy and extend the gift of forgiveness, and even more importantly, accept it when it's offered to us. So what do you guys think? Do you love social media, hate it, are you tired of the fighting, or do you love the debate? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you'd like to support me, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in the audiobook of Just Ella, you can find that in a chapter by chapter playlist right here.